to warmly welcome Professor Ajantha Dharmasiri. But before we start on him, I like to introduce the professor. Professor has a rare combination of being a chartered manager, chartered HR professional, and a chartered electrical engineer. He's claimed as a conference speaker, corporate trainer, strategy consultant, author, and an academic. He was the director and the chairman of the Board of Management of Postgraduate Institute of Management, that's PIM, University of Sri Jawadanapura, Sri Lanka. He's an adjunct professor at Price College of Business, University of Oklahoma. He was the editor of pioneering Sri Lankan Journal of Management, being a Commonwealth at AMDISA doctoral fellow, Fulbright postdoctoral fellow, and a Commonwealth postdoctoral fellow. He is also an independent director of several boards. And I have experienced his speeches on positive thinking, and I'm very sure he'll give us a good address to the aged and even in any other who has joined today of how to think positively in a very negative environment of today. Professor, over to you. Please, you can start your presentation.
Thank you very much, Janaki, for that very kind introduction. And let me recognize the presence of Dr. Ravi Bamanusinghe, my good friend, who in fact connected me with your wonderful association. So thank you, Iranya, or rather Saranya, for all the coordinating work in providing the link. So please permit me to share my presentation with you, a brief presentation, but I would prefer more an interactive discussion. So to begin with, let me greet you formally. Ayubowan, Vanakkam, Assalamu alaikum, a very good evening to each and every one of you. I hope you can see my screen now. This is the challenges that we are going through with planetary pandemic.
The screen.
You can see the screen, no?
Yes, we can, yeah.
Yes, so one is the challenge relating to the planetary pandemic. And on the other hand, all the other economic challenges, all the other challenges that we are faced with. Let me try to see how best I could. Okay. So the topic I picked is power of positive attitude. In other words, power of a positive attitude. How we need to move ahead despite the doom and gloom that we see around us, surrounding us. So PIM had been my second home for the past 20 years, first as a student, then as a visiting faculty, then as a professor, then former director, now again back to a professor. Price is my summer home where I go every summer to teach international HR. I must confess that I was doing that for more than 10 years, but then during past 2 to 3 years, due to pandemic and other things, I could not go to US. CMI, Chartered Management Institute, I'm the Vice President of the Sri Lankan chapter, CIPM. I was a past president and currently a council member. So I'm the common eye of PIM, Price, CMI, and CIPM. So these are things that I did in print media, electronic media, social media, local, regional, and global arena, some of the interactions. And my columns, I'm sure you would have seen, Sunday Observer, every Sunday, Strategic Strides, and Daily Financial Times, every other Monday, Humane Results. And the books I've written, 10, the 10th one is being printed, 8th one is HRM for managers, and the 9th one, PIM Cases in Management, I co-edited with three other colleagues, including Dr. Ravi Bamanusing. So these are my involvements in consultancies in Asia, Africa, and the Middle East. You can see from the costumes, different nationalities getting involved. And the latest edition was Fiji. I enjoyed being in that beautiful island. Fiji Islanders were pretty much like Sri Lankans, very hospitable, very friendly. And I did some work with Vinod Patel, a group in Nandi, that is the capital of Fiji. So these are the glimpses of my summer teaching at Price College. When the summer is still, chilly is still not so hot, I wear the formal attire, but when the summer gets hot up, I get into a pair of shorts. That's very informal way of doing sessions. The professors come in pair of shorts and with a can of Pepsi in their hand or can of Dr. Pepper, which is like a sweetened condensed cola, like Kick Cola. So that's the informality in summer. So the new normal, this is the place where I want to locate the new normal, which is not as smooth or as sweet as the old golden era. So the face mask I just removed because I'm in my room, so I don't have to do that. But it has become a new fashion, a new feature, a new phenomena where wearing the face mask, covering the face mask. So pandemic has struck in terms of changing the social life, affecting from children to old age, everyone. So the new normal. So I would argue in the new normal, we need to see the reality and we need to have the required response. So what is the reality? I would call it VUCA 1.0, the things that we see around us. So what is VUCA 1.0? It's all about volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. We are seeing a volatile scenario, very uncertain. So there's nothing black or white, it's all gray and very complex, very complicated, convoluted, interconnected. And we see the fuel crisis, we see the dollar crisis, we see the gas crisis, we see the electricity power crisis, and very complex and ambiguous. I mean, it's very difficult to find one solid way forward, very ambiguous. So volatility is around us, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. If that is VUCA 1.0 reality, what should be our response? I would call it VUCA 2.0. So what is VUCA 2.0? Vision, understanding, confidence, and agility. We need to have the right vision for the future, dreaming for the future. There's no age limit for dreaming. As John Lennon said, you may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. As Walt Disney said, if you can dream it, you can do it. If you can dream it, you can deliver it. So dreaming for the future, for a better future, aspiring for a better society, and understanding what's going on around us, having the confidence, having faith in yourself, having faith in your ability, having faith in, if you believe in God, if you believe in an ultimate reality, have faith. And agility, showing your dynamism, showing your vibrancy in action. So VUCA 2.0, in my view, is all about vision, understanding, confidence, and agility. So in short, in a VUCA 1.0 reality, our response should be VUCA 2.0. Are you all with me? Sounds good?
Yes.
Yes.
Makes sense?
Yes. Thank you. Yes.
Right. So that is the introduction I need. Good. So we need to have right focus, right energy in battling a planetary pandemic, in continuing with the contagion, in combating COVID-19. We need to have right focus and right energy. So what is focus? We can simply say it's concentrated attention. You need to have the right concentration, right attention, and energy, the inner propelling drive, something that drives us towards action. We need to be active, not inactive. So there was a global research done by two researchers from London Business School, LBS, and they presented their findings. They published it, Harvard Business Review some time ago. So you can see very clearly, focus can be high, low, energy can be high, low. So you get 4 different scenarios. So when energy is low and focus is high, we get disengagement. You are thoroughly focused, but you don't have the inner drive to convince someone, persuade someone, persistently communicate with someone. So you get disengaged. So a typical scenario comes to my mind. A person who had been working for a long time in a government department. He knew in and out of that department. So he put a lot of focus and wrote a one-page report, how to improve my department. And he took that paper and went to his boss and presented that, saying, sir, I did that report. It contains some recommendations how to improve our department. I wanted to come and hand this over to you. And the boss said, just a casual look and say, well, I never done a pathaka, just throw it away. I don't care a damn, and go and do what I want you to do. And if the boss says that, the person just oblige and go away, saying, if the boss doesn't more, why should I bother? You get disengaged. You have focus, but you don't have the right energy to persuade the boss, to convince the boss, to ensure that you make your point. No. So there's an issue with backbone. The boss says, the boss points to a coconut tree and tells you, look at that palmyra tree. And you say, yes, sir, there are some nuts also. Yes, sir, 3 bagsfuls. So you are disengaged. That is one extreme. If you come to the other side, energy is high, focus is low. So you are distracted, you are gushing with energy, but you are not having right focus. And there's a nice English statement, bull in a china shop. When bull comes to a china shop, the bull runs around and the all china are broken. So in fact, having energy without focus can be dangerous because you go out of focus. You are distracted. And in the Zen Buddhist, something happened. What happened? This will stop screen sharing. Do you want to continue? No. I think someone did something. Please allow me to continue. The screen sharing got something.
1 second.
Yeah.
Okay, do I need to go back? My screen, I lost my presentation.
Saranya, shall we hold for a second?
Yeah.
Oh, can I go back? Yes.
Yes.
So I think someone, right. So,
We
so
can
these are
see
the
the
4.
screen.
Sorry, Janaki.
We can see the screen.
Okay, fine, good. So thank you. We are back to the presentation. So the distraction. So in the Japanese revered Zen tradition, they say your mind is like a drunkard monkey. It goes all over. And the meditation makes the mind and body intact. So distraction is one challenge. So you have energy, but not having enough focus. So both are extremes. Disengagement, I would say that is bad, and distraction is also bad. If both are bad, then what about procrastination? Low focus, low energy. It's even worse. You're postponing things. You tend to delay things. You tend to be inactive because you don't have the required focus. You don't have the required energies. You tend to delay things more and more and more. You become a procrastinator. You are infected with an incurable disease called Balagiri dosha. Not today, tomorrow, always tomorrow, tomorrow. You tend to postpone because you lack focus, you lack energy. If this is bad, this is bad, this is worse, then what should be the recommendation? High focus, high energy. We call it purposefulness. Right focus, right energy combination, purposefulness. And the researchers who did this global research found some statistical distribution. And they say among the people, they surveyed 100,000 people, 4 out of 10 have distraction, 2 out of 10 have disengagement, and 3 out of 10 are procrastinators. So then what is the rest? Simple arithmetic. Only 10%, just 1 out of 10 have the right focus, right energy combination. So my invitation to you, ladies and gentlemen, have the right focus, have the right energy, and then you are having a purposeful experience, purposefulness. They are the real cream of the society. They are the real happy people, satisfied people who are enjoying life, having a purpose. So when you have a purpose, your life matters. You are having what I call a purpose-driven life. You are not just living simply because you wake up and you do some mundane work and you watch some poor quality teledrama, or you watch some negative news, and then you go to bed and you wake up and have the same vicious cycle again and again. No, you need to have a purpose. So when you have a purpose, your life matters. So it reminds me of Saint Mother Teresa of Calcutta, who came from Yugoslavia, leaving behind all the riches, and then started working for the street children of India, who were really deserted, and who found meaning in what she was doing, having a purpose. When you have a purpose, your life matters. When you have a purpose, every day matters. When you have a purpose, every minute, every moment matters. So the starting point is, this is not just pep talk, it's not just positive thinking, verbatim. No, it's all about finding the right purpose. Why am I alive? Why am I doing this? Why am I having this action? Every action begins with a purpose. There has to be a clear purpose. So my invitation is to have a thorough soul searching. What is my purpose? What is my purpose of life? I discovered that 20 years ago. I wrote it in my website, to be a radiate and reflect of positive energy. To be a radiate of positive energy. To be a reflect of positive energy. I'm still living it. I'm still living it. And this is one part of doing that. You need to have the right vision, right passion, right action. In the revered Buddhist text, they say, Samma Ditti leads to Samma Vaya. Right seeing should lead to right action. Unfortunately, in the society, sometimes we don't see Samma Ditti, we don't see Samma Vayama, but we see Vacha, Vacha, and Vacha in abundance. So plenty of talking, no action, but talk content. You can easily get NATO membership. No action, talk content. So talking about vision, it's all about dreaming, as I already mentioned. As Walt Disney said, if you can dream it, you can do it. So it reminds me of a fairy tale. I'm sure you'd have heard this many a time. It's all about Alice in Wonderland. Alice was a beautiful girl, and she saw a wild dream. In that dream, she was playing with some funny creatures in a nice lawn where there were so many roads in front of that lawn. So one such creature was Cheshire Cat. The cat came from a branch of a tree and approached Alice and asked from Alice, Alice, where do you want to go? Alice says, I don't know. And the cat says, go in any road. Any road will lead you to the place called, I don't know. Is this happening in our lives? Think about it. If we don't know where we are heading, we will end up nowhere. That's why Stephen Covey, the author of favorite book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, says, begin with the end in mind. Begin with the end in mind. In Sinhala, we say this very clearly. Danagana Kataragama Nodanagiyot Atarabak. In a seminar some time ago, with a large gathering, I shared this story. And I asked them, are you Kataragama people or are you Ataramaga? They said, we are Kataramaga people, neither here nor there. And after the seminar, one person approached me and told me, this is an old story. There's a new version of it. I asked what? He said, there's a new interpretation. So I will not ask you whether you are Vattala people or Mattala people, but think about it. If you don't know where you are heading, there's something missing. Have a purposeful life with a clear vision. I had always been a dream. Some dreams came true, some dreams got shattered. That's a human nature. I dreamt that my son, who was studying in Maristella College, would come to Royal and he would excel in studies. So that happened, and that dream got shattered when my son passed away 5 years ago. So certain dreams get fulfilled, certain dreams get shattered. That's part of life. And it makes us mature in life. So you need to have the right vision and right passion, the fire within passion. You got to have that passion. And that is where the heart involvement, emotional involvement. Otherwise, it's only hands and head, but you need to have the heart into it. If the heart is missing, there's something really lacking. And then that leads to action. So I would say the VPA should be the way: vision, passion, action. And as Dr. Abdul Kalam said, dreams are not what you see when you are asleep. Dreams are what makes you to stay awake and to work. Isn't that amazing? Dreams are not what you see when you are asleep. Dreams are what makes you to stay awake and to work. Otherwise, it becomes a daydream. Like when I go to offices after lunch, sometimes I see people dreaming. And they sometimes make strange noises coming from Maligaon at the timber mills. Those are not the dreams that I'm referring to. I'm referring to dreams for the future. So when you have a purpose, you got to dream for you, for your, for people near and dear to you, to your children, to your grandchildren. You need to dream for them. You can be the point of inspiration for them. Okay. The passion factor. People with passion can change the world for better. People with passion can change Asia for better. People with passion can change Sri Lanka for better. What Steve Jobs said with regard to Apple is relevant to all of us. Of course, we don't have apple, we have pineapple, and we have not been even able to make a logo out of pineapple. But still, for all, we need to think positive, stay positive, act positive. The passion is a factor that is required. Passion leads to persistence, perseverance, performance. That's what we need. Passionate people are the people who have done something different in the world. They made a difference in the society. The heart involvement, something that you do from the bottom of your heart. That's what Saint Mother Teresa of Calcutta did. That's what all great religious leaders did. That's what all great social workers did. That's what all great mothers, great fathers, great grandmas, great grandpas did. That's what is needed. For that, you need to have a peak performance pyramid built in. It talks about 4 dimensions of life. 4 dimensions. This has a very high significance, West and East alike. So let me start from the Western perspective. It was a research done by Loha and Schwartz, 2 veterans. They came up with the 4 dimensions of a peak performance pyramid: physical, health and fitness. And it's a human body that takes us through the journey of life. So we got to be healthy, we got to be fit. And when we are aging, we need to be more and more conscious about our physical front. As a proud nation, we used to say long time ago, Arogya Paramalabha. Health is prime profit. But now we have to say sadly, Arogya Shala Paramalabha. Hospitals have become profit center. And in hospitals, when they say a patient coming, they look at the patient and say Arogya Paramalabha. The patient is a huge profit-making opportunity. So that's a plight that we are in. So the point is, are we physically active enough? I remember walking along a public park in New Delhi, and there were a lot of Indians, elderly Indian couples, and they were laughing a lot. There was a laugh activity, there was a smiling activity, there was a laugh clinic, they call it. They were all laughing, smiling, cheering, in enjoying the sunny weather. See, you need to be physically active. Your joints have to be well oiled, and you got to make sure that you are physically active. So physical front, then the first one. You need to ensure proper sleep. The more and more we age, we need more sleep. And you need to decide based on your biocycle how many hours of sleep you need. Don't deprive sleep. That's a silent killer. Sleep deprivation, the impact to the head. There was a Swedish research. They say the impact on your head, if you deprive sleep, is like someone hitting your head with a hammer. Imagine someone hitting your head with a hammer. Same impact will happen if you don't sleep enough. So your exercising, sleep, and the food that you eat. We are famous for eating all rubbish, all junk. Take the breakfast. The nutritionist advice for breakfast is what? Cereals, fruits, vegetables, etc. But what do we eat? Chinese rolls, patties, cutlets. The per capita consumption of Chinese rolls in Sri Lanka is far higher than that in China, isn't it? So we eat more Chinese rolls than Chinese. That's applied there. So when we eat oily food, when we eat fatty food, we have all sort of illnesses. So physical front is extremely important. Take care of your physical front for your own good and for the good of your loved ones, people who are near and dear to you. On top of that, mental front, mental sharpness. We need to make sure that our mind is alert, active. And I know I have a lot of friends who are young at heart, who are into puzzle solving. They are solving the crossword puzzles. They are doing Sudoku puzzles. They are doing some mind stimulating activities, mental sharpness. And there's a story about two woodcutters who went to the forest. They started felling trees. The first woodcutter kept on felling trees right throughout the day. Second woodcutter was a smarter fellow. He felled trees about for an hour and then stopped and took a device from his bag and started sharpening the axe. Then he started again felling trees. Another 1 hour later, sharpened the axe. At the end of the day, who had more timber? First woodcutter or the second woodcutter? Obviously, second woodcutter. Why? His axe was sharp. We need to sharpen our mind. We need to upgrade ourselves, make ourselves up to date. We need to be updated of what's going on around us. The world news, international affairs. These days, the Russia-Ukraine issue is impacting all of us, impacting our cup of tea. And for me, internet is a vast ocean of resources. For me, the best source of information, for me, the new knowledge I get from internet. It has a lot of facts and figures, internet. But the challenge is, unfortunately, some people go to internet not to find facts, but only to find figures. So internet becomes a gossip net. So I'm sure you are mature enough to avoid that in getting the best out of internet, leaving out the junk, leaving out the rubbish, leaving out what is not decent. So that is the mental front. On top of that, you have emotional front. Emotion can be broken into two parts. Emotion, enabling motion. And that's a term called emotional intelligence. If you look at the society, there have been people who have successfully passed the examinations, but miserably failed in life. Vibhage pass, jivite fail. Udeta depa, howsata siva. Why? They don't know how to manage their emotions. You need emotional maturity. There are constructive emotions, there are destructive emotions. You need to foster more constructive emotions like joy, happiness, enthusiasm, feeling satisfied. Whereas the destructive emotions, the commonest one, they call it anger. We tend to get angry and shout at people. Every time we get angry, the blood pressure goes up. The relationships are broken and you are having high blood pressure. So take care of it. Jealousy, like a very common thing in Sri Lanka. They say, Rusia or irisia, jealousy factor. So the negative emotions. Sometimes there are addictions. When we get, when we are negative, we tend to go for a particular addiction. It can be smoking, it can be drinking, it can be gossiping, it can be just negatively fault finding with oneself. It can be unnecessary blaming yourself, thinking that the whole world is against me. Like in the old movies, Rukmani Devi was saying, "Me krura loke ai maupan." I mean, foster yourself with positive emotions, not negative emotions. Then on top of that, spirituality is all about values. Right set of values. Irrespective of what religion you belong to, spirituality goes beyond religion. I remember Venerable Rabukkana Siddhartha Theru wrote a beautiful song, Budubana ඇසුවා නිරන්තරේ, බුදුගුණ ගැයුවා නිරන්තරේ, ගතිගුණාති අපිතාමත් වනන්තරේ. Even though you tend to be religious, you might still be doing things which are not acceptable in terms of spirituality. Spirituality means connecting with yourself, connecting with one another, connecting with the universal reality. That's where the religion comes. Having the right set of values, showing that you are a human being, not human doing or human undoing. Showing respect, care towards one another, working together. So these are the four aspects: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. Then you get, when you combine all four, peak performance pyramid. If you miss one, then you are having an imbalanced life. Anshabag. You got to have all four nicely blended, nicely harmonized. Physical strength, mental sharpness, emotional maturity, spiritual strength, spiritual satisfaction. Four aspects. And they are amazingly connected to the Eastern philosophies. If you look at the Buddhism, Satipatthana Sutra, it talks about Kayanupassana, Chittanupassana, Vedananupassana, Dhammanupassana. See, beautifully matching what the Western researchers say and what the Buddhist spirituality says, the Buddhist philosophy says. And again, if you go from East to the Middle East, if you look at the Holy Bible, in the Gospel according to St. Luke, it says that Jesus went with his parents to this town called Nazareth and grew physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Amazingly connected. In the whole world, this is a universal truth. We got to be aware of our physical front, mental front, emotional front, and spiritual front. Don't neglect any one of those. Then you are having some issues. Take enough care. Take care of yourself. Be aware of what you are doing on a daily basis. Spend quality time with you consciously. You would have been rushing when you are 10 years ago. You would have been doing a lot of hectic things 10 years ago, but now time to take a little rest, time to have a relook at yourself, right? The starting point, the golden gate, I would call it, is what the golden gate is. The golden gate is all about quest positive, but test negative. Earlier I used to say be positive, but now being positive is sometimes a dangerous thing with the COVID. So I would say quest positive, but test negative. Quest positive, test negative. Always think and act positive. Culturally, we are at a disadvantage. We tend to be more negative. For example, someone asks you the question, good morning, how are you? So what is the answer you give? Not bad. Instead, can you be more cheerful, more enthusiastic? I'm doing well, I'm fine. I'm so glad that I see the sunshine today. I'm glad that I'm awake, I'm alert to enjoy my time with my children, with my grandchildren, with the beautiful surrounding that I have. Enjoy what you have rather than complaining what you don't have. ජීවිතේ විඳිනවා මිසක් විඳෝනවා නෙමෙයි. Enjoy what you have. Enjoy the small things. Enjoy small treasures. 10 years ago, 15 years ago, you'd have ignored it. But now those are very valuable. There were so many people who did not have the fortune to see the sunshine this morning. They didn't see the sunshine. They are no more with us. So present is a present. Vartamani, tag. Present is a present. That's why we need to enjoy what we do. Be conscious that I'm alive right now. I'm aware of I'm aware right now. I'm awake right now. That itself is a blessing. That's why Eckhart Tolle wrote a beautiful book called Power of Now. Now is power. Present is a present. So think positive. There are plenty of them. If you start writing things that you can be happy about from your birth up to now, things that you can be happy about, plenty of things. So today being the International Women's Day, I can see a lot of ladies in the audience. I'm very happy that I have 5 5 ladies very close to me, 5 women very close to me. 5 women, you might misunderstand. It's 5 women very close to me. My darling mother, who passed away 2 years ago, she gave birth to me. So I'm very happy that I had such a wonderful mother, and my beloved wife, my lifelong partner, my soul mate. I'm so fortunate to meet such a wonderful woman, my second woman in my life, my mother, my wife, and my darling daughter. When my son passed away, she's the one who fulfilled that gap in terms of at least we have another child. We had 2 elder daughter and a younger son, but at least now we have the daughter. She's a teenager, and then she's studying for her medical exam. So I'm positive. So there are plenty of things to be happy. Then of course my mother-in-law, I call her mother-in-law rather than mother-in-law. Not L-A-W, but L-O-V. She was so caring to both me and my wife. And of course, finally, it's something very deep. Holy Mother, St. Mary. I'm a Catholic, so I believe in the divine intervention of Holy Mother. So 5 women very close to my heart. 5 women, not 1 woman, 5 women. So that's being positive, being cheerful, being happy. So every day is a blessed day. Every day is something that is given to you to do something positive, something cheerful, something enthusiastic. So having lost my only son 5 years ago, if I can be positive, I'm sure people have gone through turbulences, people have gone through tsunamis in their lives, people have gone through a lot of tragic events in their lives, but still we can be positive. That's that's the nature of life. Life goes on. It's a choice. Whether to be positive or to be negative is a choice. I'm sure you have heard a lot of stories about it. These 2 stone cutters who were chipping stones right throughout the day. First stone cutter was always complaining, Mikhail Malrasa, my hands are full of wounds. I'm fed up with this dull, damn, boring job. He was chipping stones. The other stone cutter was saying, I'm building a city. I'm helping them to build that marvelous city. I'm part of that wonderful construction team. So are you just a stone cutter, or are you a city builder? It's your choice. It's your decision. It's not the circumstances, it's your decision to stay positive. So 2 people failed A-level. So one person was crying, lamenting, weeping. The other person was thinking, now I know how they set papers. Now I know how I need to prepare. And I know one religious person. He was having a terminal illness. He was having, I don't want to give details. He was having a cancer. But I have not seen such a cheerful person, even after getting detected with that. How cheerful, how enthusiastic he was. And then to cut a long story short, he took some indigenous medicine. For 1 whole year, he committed himself for those indigenous treatments. Now he has got completely healed. Where the Western doctors said it was not curable. They gave up. But now he's completely healed. At the first ingredient, I saw him being very enthusiastic. When we were upset about it, when we were sad about it, when we were really concerned, he was consoling us. Don't worry, I know I can go through this. See the positive approach in life. All right? It always seems impossible until it's done. So said Nelson Mandela. So things might be seen impossible. So I would say, write the word impossible with some spaces. I am possible. I am possible. Not impossible. I am possible. I am possible. You might be having a daunting challenge in front of you. It can be a health challenge. It can be a physical challenge. It can be a mental challenge. It can be a economic challenge. It can be a relationship issue. It can be a lonely challenge. Someone near and dear is no more with you. Things might appear impossible. But remember, impossible should be I am possible. So my parents, they were fortunate to celebrate 50 years of wedding anniversary. They were living together for 50 years. Then my mom passed away first. And my father survived for 1 more year. And he also passed away. Then I saw how close they were together and how it was difficult for my dad to go through it. But then life is like that. Life was unfolding. He became also, he realized the reality. So what, again, the whole idea is that he would not have imagined that he would survive, but he survived at least 1 more year. So remember, it's not impossible. It's I am possible. I am possible. So what is impossible to human beings can be possible when you look at from a positive point of view, when you have faith in your spiritual powers, and when you go through it with confidence. And as they say, tough times never last, but tough people do. When the going gets tough, tough gets going. That is what is important. Okay. You need to have the right attitude, which needs right aptitude, developing of your competencies, capabilities, and then you will reach the pinnacle. From attitude to aptitude to altitude, your pinnacle, the peak that you would like to reach. Age is not a barrier at all. Age is not a... There are so many people who have graduated in their 60s, 70s, and 80s. There are people who have conducted symphony orchestras in their 90s. And I'll show you some examples. I have met a lot of people who were young at heart in Walmart, my favorite food store in US. So this is the challenge. Rather than complaining of what you don't have, use what you have. It is not the left, but the right. Rather than complaining what you don't have and always begging, use what you have and start moving ahead with confidence. That is what is needed. Unfortunately, we see more people in the left than more people in the right, isn't it? This is where we need to look at the reality of life. Reality of life. You and me are all having the reality. Only reality in the world is change. Everything is changing. Even the rate of change has accelerated. I'm not me who was 10 years ago. I'm not me who was 20 years ago. I'm reaching 55 in September this year. 55 years on earth. So Peter Drucker said something very interesting. We need to develop management style that treats all workers as wisdom keepers. When you get old, you have more and more wisdom, more and more wisdom. So the new interpretation is elderly people are wisdom keepers, wisdom takers, wisdom containers. They have a lot of wisdom, which the textbooks will not give, which the typical course will not teach you. That's why there's a beautiful book called The Wisdom Years, Unleashing Your Potential in Later Life. I'm sure you have plenty of time to read books. So may I invite you to read Zvi Lanier, The Wisdom Years. You can do a Amazon search or Google search and find more details. The Wisdom Years, Unleashing Your Potential. So this is where there are plenty of opportunities, equal opportunities. So it's not too late for you to engage in what makes you happy and what is your passion and what makes you really go towards a purpose-driven life. That's what is important. So this is the oldest worker in US. Walmart employee celebrates 103rd birthday. I have seen many such aunties and uncles when I go to Walmart. Lorraine celebrated 103rd birthday while working at Walmart, isn't it? So there's no end. When I go to Price College in Oklahoma University premises, there's a complimentary transport bus service. All buses are driven by, on average, people who are above 75 years. Above 70. Ladies and gentlemen, both. They are the bus drivers. So which is quite common. So the mindset in Sri Lanka is that the moment you reach 55, that you are mentally feeling that I am now retired. I am now tired. I'm now fatigued. I'm now having a lot of illnesses. So that is the starting point. It all begins with the mind. And they say, mind is a forerunner. Mano Pubbangama Dhamma, Mano Setta, Manomaya. Your mind is a forerunner for success. If you think negatively, that will impact your life. If you think positively, that will impact your life. So, and remember what Abraham Lincoln said, and in the end, it is not the years in your life that count, it is the life in your years. Not the years in your life that count, it's the life in your years. My son lived only 13 years, but he had a lot of life in his years. And my grandma lived 101 years, and again she had life in her years. Whether it is 101 year or any less, it is the year. It's not the years in your life; it's the life in your year. Every day matters. Am I living every day meaningful? I remember when I was studying at University of Moratu, there was a beautiful picture in the canteen. Start the day with love, fill the day with love. Every day is a day to be filled with love, caring, happiness, satisfaction, joy, enthusiasm. That's what you need. So let me wind up by referring to revered Sinhala text Subhashita. Pahanin pahan siya gananak dalwada, epahan sile alu adunawa dilenavit. Loan satun gunapala karamin niban, supasan gunin vajabeti, suduno pavat. When one lamp lights hundreds of other lamps, would the original lamp lose its light? No. That's a call for us, ladies and gentlemen. We need to be a point of light. Rather than cursing the darkness, let's be a point of light in enlightening the whole world, helping others, supporting others, encouraging others, mentoring others, guiding others, collaborating with others, connecting with others, communicating with others. That's what is needed. So be a point of light. Don't curse the darkness, light a candle. Remember, I can keep on talking. You can keep on listening. But what matters is well done is better than well said. Well done. Actions bring results. Actions are more important than words. Remember. So do something meaningfully different to stay positive, to quest positive, to achieve positive results. Have that positive mindset. I'm happy. I'm enthusiastic. I'm joyful. I have hope in a better future. In my case, I had plenty of opportunities to migrate, but I decided this is the country that I can be the first-class citizen. True enough, there's an electricity issue. True enough, there's a gas issue. True enough, there's a dollar issue. But I decided to stay here. This is where my son is cremated, or my son is buried. So I want to live in this soil. And Sri Lanka, if you look at it, it has abundance of beauty on one side. It has abundance of brain on the other side. So beauty and brains are full. But the problem is with some blunt politicians. They say it's a inna hitan ratak, but what happens, it becomes a kanda hitan ratak, consumable commodity. That's the sad part of it. So let's leave out the negativities. Let's do something meaningfully, purposefully, actively for the betterment of ourselves, for our families, and for the country at large as truly responsible, caring Sri Lankans. So remember, if it is to be, it's up to me. You have to take charge of yourself. Manage yourself, lead yourself, take care of yourself. If it is to be, it's up to me. When you fly in the airlines, they say, wear the oxygen mask first before attending to others. You have to wear the oxygen mask first. Take care of yourself. You have to be alive. You have to be healthy. You have to be happy in order to support others. So be a happy father, happy mother, happy husband, happy wife, happy grandfather, happy grandmother. Any questions? I hope this is not your mindset right now. Is there any questions I can entertain? So first, let me formally wind up, inviting you to reflect, refresh, and relate. Reflect, about all what I have said, and refresh yourself and relate it to what you do. With that, I'm not finishing. I'm opening up a new way of looking at things, a new way of doing things, a new way of achieving satisfaction, happiness, and joy. So it's a continuing journey from good to great, continuing journey from day by day. Every day is a worth living day. So from the bottom of my heart, let me wish you good luck, all the very best, bon voyage, happy journey. You can contact me. You can visit my website. There are plenty of details, and my contact details are also there.